is Vivian. I am an aerial artist and the owner and artistic director of Chrysalis Circus. I've always been athletic as a person, and I like to move with my body. And in all honesty, aerial arts didn't attract me. Circus arts attracted me, but I had access to aerial arts through class, and I quickly found that it was an easy way for me to move and communicate through movement. I love the magic of being on stage in the moment. It is really this unexplainable feeling that you are part of this grand illusion, and I can be some form of myself. It is, I'm acting, but also it is still me, and I'm able to tell some story of mine. And it could be a story that was given to me by the artistic director of the show, but it is still me being that storyteller and creating this illusion and magical sense in that moment for people. I've had many mentors, but the biggest one that comes, deepest in my heart was my partner, Laura Paxton. She was artistic director of the Aerialistas, of which, I was very lucky to audition with and got in. But beyond that, she really guided me by example. She set the example of how one behaves compassionately, patiently, and with so much forgiveness for one another. She really took me under her wing and taught me so much, not just about aerial, but about how to operate as a human being in this show business world. She was really someone who was just so warm and really cared about you as a person, not you as an athlete, you as an aerial artist. It was really just you as a person and everyone around her. She set that example with everybody around her. And I think that has always been how I want to continue in my work as well. My favorite aerial apparatus is the aerial silks. And it could be because that was my first thing that I started training on, but it, for me, has been very physically demanding, has asked a lot of my body. And I feel like it's a medium that just translates itself to how I kind of operate and feel. It's kind of unpredictable. It's not totally stable, and it just moves in really strange ways. But you learn to love those idiosyncrasies. I am a little afraid of heights, and that is a big reason why I practice frequently. The first move I ever learned how to do was basically to climb up the silk, and I failed miserably. It was so hard. I don't think I made it up more than 2 feet off the ground, honestly, and I had burns up and down my body. You are working at height. You are working with not only equipment that has always the possibility to fail, and then you also have the limitations of your own physical body. You might get friction burns. That's probably the more common injury you'll get. You could twist, break some bones if you're not careful, and of course, falling would be the greatest risk. One of the most challenging things about what I do, performing professionally, is finding that balance between stability in home life and also adventuring on, pushing forward, and going for those shows that take you away from home. And sometimes finding that balance can be really, really tricky. I think for me as an aerial artist, sometimes there is, I put on this illusion of this grandiose and confident performer up in the air, but I believe this applies to so many of my performing artist colleagues. Under that, there is a deeply vulnerable and deeply shy person, so there could be this one character on stage that stands very tall and can be very loud on stage, but under that is a very shy and a very vulnerable person inside. One of my fondest memories was a charity event that took place at Benaroya Hall in Seattle. And the organizer of this event had composed a song based on my solo act on the Silks. So I was able to perform my Silks act live to this original music composition that was being played by the musicians on stage at the same time. It was unbelievable. Oh, there's so much I love about aerial arts. For me, it's the combination of athletics, dance, and storytelling. All three of those combined make it something very unique. And for me, it's a very natural way for me to communicate. For the circus community, the pandemic has basically interrupted the very rhythm of our life in terms of us always performing. And if we weren't performing, we were always gearing up for the next show. And suddenly that all stopped. Of course, we have reinvented and we have done online shows, but there is a complete absence of that magic of a live audience. And so not having that has been very, very difficult for the circus community, and I'm sure for all of the performing artists. My home studio is the home base of Chrysalis Circus. It's a circus production company. So we do all of our act development and concept creations, rehearsals all happen here in this space. Not only does the company operate here, but also private training, my lessons with my students, and sometimes student shows happen here as well. Oh, I love teaching. I think I've been very lucky to have been that performing artist who also is able to teach. And one of the most rewarding things I get from my students is when they accomplish something, when it took them so long to accomplish that trick, but they stuck with it, they trusted me, they trusted the process, and they accomplished it and didn't even realize it.
There it is, I got it, finally, yay!
For Apex's It's a Wonderful Artist Life show, Owen Yen and I decided to improvise together, joining aerial arts and music. He is a wonderful musician. We only had a couple of rehearsals really to kind of understand each other's communication styles in terms of his music and also my physical movement and how we can make that look as seamlessly as possible, but still improvising on the fly. So on the night of the show, it felt even more intimate. The space was so close. We were physically close to each other, and I didn't want to kick him with my foot. But I think that physicality there was really interesting and exciting for us to be playing off each other. And we felt a lot more connected there than in this space, in a giant rehearsal space. And that was really fun. I love Apex because it is a very welcoming place that fosters and encourages not just the final product of the art creation, but the journey, the process of making art.